Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers, geezers and geeks alike. It's this week's Monkey Nut Podcast with my ever-vescent, ever-ready, ever-know-it-all, Keith. Hello, Keith.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right. Yeah, bit of a cold. I was really ill last week. So, yes, and you were away. So that was good that you were away when I was ill. So I wouldn't actually miss the podcast that we could do.
Well, thankfully we were away last weekend and not this weekend, because that would have been interesting. The road that we went down collapsed, and the house here shook. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there was an earthquake in Thailand where earthquakes don't happen, and I've never been in one before, and it was weird. Not too bad here. It barely shook, but it shook enough that you could feel it. I thought it was a truck going past. And then it occurred to my dumbass brain after 10 seconds, God, that truck's been going past for a long time.
Yeah.
You go to the missus, and there's like the glasses are rattling in the kitchen. It was weird. It was weird. Yeah. So, yes, apart from that, nothing eventful.
Not for me either. I think I watched Starship Troopers on the Saturday evening in the cinema, which was really good. Took my son to see it, who'd never seen it. Loved it.
Cool.
Yeah. And that was all cool. So, yes. Shall we get on to our first news story? Shall we just hit the ground running?
Yeah, we should, because there's, I think, 6 news stories this week.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Oh no! What?
Marvel Studios has officially unveiled its ensemble cast for the upcoming film Avengers Doomsday, scheduled for release on the 1st of May 2026. The announcement was made during a 5-hour stream that showcased directors' chairs labelled with actors' names, generating anticipation amongst fans. 5 hours of nonsense.
Yep.
Seriously, you could have done it and done one every 5 minutes and you would have got some anticipation, but making people wait over the course of 5 hours. Yeah. So there are... Was Simo Lee on that list?
Yes.
Okay, I can't remember. My brain blanked him out. Okay.
Do you want to show the list?
Go on. Whatever.
No, the list is on that story, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to notice.
So, I mean, a lot of those weren't surprises. I mean, Shuri's coming back as Black Panther. Paul Rudd's back, which is, I like Paul Rudd. But Namor. I mean, it's they haven't got any of the Eternals, but they've put Namor on there, who was kind of largely criticised. I mean, Shang-Chi, yeah, okay. They're bringing back most of the, I mean, we haven't even seen it yet, the Thunderbolts. But then we get down to Kelsey Grammer, who I was kind of like, okay, that's cool. We've got, who's Lewis Pullman? Bob Sentry. Oh, Sentry. Right.
Oh, he's in the new thing. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, he's.
I mean, Danny Ramez again. Really, I mean, like, because you couldn't
you
fail
watched,
hard enough in Captain America. Yeah, I did.
I don't know what they.
I mean,
sorry.
The problem we've got here is there's a lot of people. Now, don't get me. I don't know how they're going to bring Tom Hiddleston into it. I have no effing idea how. I mean, Ava from the not so great, although it wasn't the worst Ant-Man movie, but she wasn't exactly standout.
Well, they race swapped and sex swapped her character, which they could have done.
Yeah, I mean, but you've got Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Alan Cumming, Rebecca Romaine. Now there's a woman, and James Marsden. There's 2 people missing here.
Oh, hang on a second. Before you go any further, we've got Channing Tatum in here. Hang on.
I have to.
Go on. Let me.
My name is Jeff.
Who will be playing Jeff in Doomsday, not Gambit. Sorry, I couldn't. I got that ready for that.
I mean, I quite liked his cameo in Deadpool. I mean, no surprises about Pedro Pascal. We already knew, even though massively miscast. But the problem is, this was 30 or 40 people there. It's like none of them are going to get more than a minute on screen.
It's going to be like a fucking PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, if you were going to bring back the X-Men, why not just have, like, why do we need Namor? And, like, why do, okay, I can understand Black Panther being in there. I can understand Thor being in there. Where's, what's his face as the Hulk? Was he listed?
No, I don't think
is he at the top of the story or not?
I'm just checking. No, he's not in there.
So, no Hulk. Even though we've seen artwork with the Hulk on it. I don't think we've got the full list. And why announce all these? It just...
And why announce them in the way they did? I get it. It looks, if you just do it normally, it looks quite good. But to make you wait over the course of 5 fucking hours, I said to this to Keith beforehand, Marvel needs to realise what Axl Rose has not realised. You're not famous anymore. You need to impress us. It's not the other way round. All right? It's people noticeably missing. Tom Holland.
Yep.
Spider-Man, their biggest. Sorry, Robert Downey Jr. Spider-Man is their biggest. Benedict Cumberbatch. Yep. As you pointed out, Mark Ruffalo wasn't there. Elizabeth Olsen.
And Benedict Cumberbatch is on the artwork that's been released. Just pointing that out. Go on.
Okay. And on our favourite cheesy superhero, Brie Larson. Camel Bear herself.
I mean, it's unbelievably hard to say this, but she's kind of redeemed herself a lot in recent years.
I'll be honest with you, if you said Brie Larson on Namor, I'd pick Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would pick Brie Larson. And I think you were going to try and say it, but I rudely interrupted you with my name is Jeff. Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah.
Who are the biggest fucking sellers. Oh, and they have access to the multiverse too.
Well, yeah. And Jean Grey. The actress that played Jean Grey, which I can't remember.
Oh, Famke Janssen.
Yeah. But I've seen the artwork from this movie. Marvel released artwork where you've got Benedict Cumberbatch as a version of Doctor Strange. You've got what's his face as the Hulk, because there's a whole like Hulk part of this place that they're all going to end up in. So I don't think it's the full announcement. But again, I would have, if you're going to, I mean, you're not going to, this is another, let's recreate what we did in Deadpool and have all these cameos because they fucking loved that. So we're bringing back all the original X-Men. This isn't an introduction of the X-Men. This is because look, no offense, I like Patrick Stewart as Dr. X. I fucking love Ian McKellen as Magneto, but in the nicest possible way, they are not going to be here forever. And certainly with Patrick Stewart, you heard it in his voice, even in season 3 of Picard. What are they doing here? I mean, we've already had Patrick Stewart in Doctor Strange, which was massively panned. if Marvel thought that this was going to drum up excitement, I think it's almost had the opposite effect, because a lot of people go, well, that's a lot of people, and why are they announcing it now? And then, as you said, that stream, 5 hours long, like revealing a new actor like every 5 minutes, it's ridiculous. And it took them 5 hours to do that. So that tells you how many bloody people are in this movie. And I don't think it's the full cast.
No, it's... So my first problem is Battleworld, the Doomsday story that they're using, is the story of the Beyonder. Yeah? But it looks like they're replacing the Beyonder with Doctor Doom.
Yep.
Yeah? So they've really fucked the story up out of the gate. They've not respected the source material. And then the question is how are they going to do this Battleworld thing? Because you look at that list there, and it's like kind of... The Beyonder took like, 6 supervillains, put them on Battleworld, gave them like a 20-year head start, and then threw the superheroes at them. So... I don't fucking know. This actually made me feel worse about the film. This is anti-marketing. Yeah, this has not made me feel confident about it. This has made me go, shit, if they just kept the gob shut, full stop, and turned around and said there's a trailer coming December 1st, yeah, for Christmas, that would have been more, okay, cool, we can wait till December 1st. I think they need to do what celebrities are not doing at the moment and shut up. Put a good story together. Concentrate on the story, which I don't. I
don't think they
after
are
seeing
that.
that,
Actors. I think they've gone. Oh, Deadpool Wolverine was really really popular because of all the people coming back. You know, we'll just do that as a whole movie, and everybody will love Marvel again, and everybody will talk about Marvel again. And you weren't listening. You weren't listening. There was a lot of criticism for Deadpool 3. Yes, people like seeing those old people back, and people went to see the movie because of it. But we know now, and there's a lot of people going, well, I think it might be a mess. And then people will be cautious now to go and see. If you'd said nothing and just released the core cast of the movie and said nothing, because a lot of these are going to be cameos. There's no way that, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are going to have a huge part in this movie. They're not, right? And there's no way James Marsden's going to have a huge part in this movie. Ain't gonna happen, right? And I know that because they've already started filming Paradise season 2, and he's on there. So it's like they're not big parts; they're cameos. They're announcing cameos, and why did you do that? One of the things about Deadpool that everybody liked was they were a surprise, especially Wesley Snipes.
Yeah,
and you've ruined that. And the ones that you're keeping back are the ones that obviously are going to be in there.
It's screwed. They've probably screwed the pooch on this. I think I don't like saying it, but I think the fucking Russo brothers have lost it. And the best example of them losing it is that recent film. What was it? Electric Dreams. Electric State. That was fucking terrible. And they had a huge budget, and they were left to their own devices.
Yeah, but they did
someone
what was it?
missing.
Citadel as well on Amazon, and that was utter pile of shit. Nothing they have done since Infinity War has been any good, and I'm including Endgame. I know some of you are going to go, "Oh, Endgame was good." No, it wasn't. It was terrible. There were great moments.
Endgame was good until we got to the snap at the end.
Oh no, I don't think it was. I think we spent the whole. It wasn't good. It was bad the minute that they did a 5-year time jump. It fell off the rails. Don't get me wrong, there are amazing moments in that film. I love Captain America picking up the Thor's hammer, and it's like, Avengers Assemble is a fucking awesome moment, but the film itself is objectively not good. So this doesn't fill me with hope.
I have to go and watch that again. I haven't watched that in a while. Let's move on to our next story, shall we? Because we've got quite a few.
All right, Gold Member. Don't play the laughing boy. There are only 2 things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures.
British actor Nick Frost is reportedly in final negotiations to portray Rubeus Hagrid in HBO's upcoming Harry Potter television series. Frost, renowned for his comic roles in the Cornetto trilogy films Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, is poised to take on the beloved character originally portrayed by the late Robbie Coltrane. The series aims to be a faithful adaptation of J.K. Rowling's 7 novels, with each season dedicated to a book, allowing for a more comprehensive exploration of the source material. Francesca Gardner serves as showrunner, while Mark Millard is set to direct multiple episodes. So we've got... Hang on a second. This is a quick cast thing, yeah? John Lithgow as Albus Dumbledore. Correct. Jane McTeer as McGonagall.
I think that
Papa Lazarou as Severus Snape. And now we've got Nick Frost as Hagrid.
I had a reaction to when I saw this, like that meme where it's like, what? What the fuck? It really annoyed me, this.
Oh, hang on.
He's perfect.
Hang on. You mean... Yeah, hold on a moment. You mean...
That one. Because it made me angry. It made me angry because that's perfect casting. I mean, that is perfect casting. He'll be great as Hagrid. I mean, I just went, and it annoys me.
It's weird because I'm picturing him playing Father Christmas in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
As Hagrid.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing to say.
No, I know, but it works.
Yeah.
He's there. He works as Hagrid. He is an absolutely perfect choice to follow up from Coltrane. He will work. He will change the role a bit to his own thing, but he's great for it. He's got those characteristics. He's got those mannerisms, and he'll do the role justice. The trouble is they've completely fucking destroyed the story by casting somebody, again, somebody that is problematic in a role. And it the thing that annoys me is that everybody's still banging on, oh, you're an ist. No. It's because what it does to all the characters around him, it changes the dynamic completely. Therefore, all this bullshit about being faithful, it's not, because now you're bringing racism into the magical world. And there was already racism there, but it was in a different way. It was done with the Mudbloods. It was done with, it was this totalitarianism thing. And so why did we need modern day politics? Casting this guy Severus Snape is so problematic. It's ridiculous. And it really fucking angered me when I saw this, because I kind of like the casting for the other roles. I think Lithgow will be great as Dumbledore. I think more I watch this woman, I think she's going to be great as McGonagall. And fucking Nick Frost as Hagrid is inspired. So what the fuck are they doing with Snape?
All right.
And I like the actor. I genuinely like the actor. I've seen him in a few things, and I think he's a great actor. But Severus Snape is a white guy, and that's it. And I don't care what fucking Rowling says, afterwards, like she tried one with Hermione. She approved all the goddamn illustrations, which I keep saying, right? And she described him as that way. And the minute you make him a little black boy that's being picked on by 2 rich white dudes, right? One from a very aristocratic family, people are going to see what they're going to see, and it changes the dynamic of the characters, and it changes the story. It changes your opinion of James Potter, and it's stupid. Sorry.
Tell us how you feel, Keith.
It's not. And it annoys me because I want to see that. I want to see a TV series that delves more into the books, and and the other castings I've gone, yeah, that's great. It kind of gives you, and then they go and do this with Snape, and it's like, what the fuck are you thinking? And it has nothing to do with the color of his, it does, but it's not because that particular character, the minute you change his race, you change everything. And whether you like it or not, race does have a play on things. When you change, there are a lot of people that are proud of their heritage, right? Snape wasn't proud of his heritage. Snape, it just doesn't work. His character will fundamentally change. Which it should, I mean, It shouldn't do, but it will have to in order to do the actor justice. And that doesn't work. I mean, if it been, I mean, this guy could have been a really good Kingsley, actually. And I think he would have worked quite well as a Kingsley Shacklebolt, but look, there we go. And don't forget that Kingsley at the end ends up as the Minister of the Magic, which I'm sure they all love, these Wokey Wokes. And they missed a beat. Oh, it annoys me.
It's annoying because you're right. He is good casting for that.
It's great casting,
but I'm still you're right. We're stuck with Snape, and we have no idea what we're going to do to Hermione. Because I bet they'll cast someone who's not white.
Hermione
Granger
is whilst big bushy hair, which again is what she was described at. Hermione is still less problematic than Snape.
Do you think?
Yes.
With Malfoy calling her a mudblood?
Yes, because
and her doing the thing with spew?
Yes. Well, that's where it becomes problematic. Yes. But actually it's a damn good point. But they've already done it to the stage show.
I'm going to be honest with you, Keith. They're the only two characters that you can do that with. Yeah. The only way you could probably make it really awkward is if you turn Dumbledore into a woman.
Well, I mean, Jason Isaac said that What's-Her-Face should play Lucius Malfoy, didn't he? And everybody's taking him seriously. He was taking the piss. Really famous actress, and my brain has completely died. Oh, Christ. Really famous American actress, like blonde hair.
So that narrows it down a bit.
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
Yeah. He was taking the piss. Right? He was taking the piss. Because a lot of people... I think he is a bit more wise than a lot of people... And I think this was a marginal dig at the casting. But anyway, it annoys me. But at the same time, I think it's great casting, and I think he'll be a fantastic Hagrid. It's a shame that I think they've destroyed it before it's out the gate, because he is great, and I think Lithgow will be great as Dumbledore. I genuinely do. A lot of people go, it was like, go and watch.
It's whether he lasts the distance. That's the thing. Yeah. It's whether he'll last the distance.
Well, he said it, and he has acknowledged this. And he says it'll be the last great role that he plays. Unfortunately, it probably won't be, because I don't think the show will make it to the end. I think they really are not in touch with the fans. These stories are beloved, right? And there's only so much pushback and calling people a racist when you suddenly realise that 85% of your fan base, you can't call 85% of your fan base racist. It's not going to work. Right, and the trouble is the 85% of the fan base are right. It changes the character beyond recognition, and it affects other characters, and it affects other beloved characters, other characters that have, quite a bit of effect on our central trio, and it changes the dynamic of Harry's parents. And it changes Lily Potter, who was hanging around with him. Why didn't she go out with him? She knew he liked her. Why didn't she go out? And why did she go out with James Potter? Are you going to make Harry black? It's problematic, and it hasn't been thought through. And I'm just wondering, right, because they still haven't confirmed that one. It's been heavily rumoured, but I'm wondering if that they don't reverse that. Well, time will tell. But maybe somebody somewhere has finally woken up to the fact and gone, oh, maybe, I bet they've never considered it. When they were doing this casting, they were so up their own. The problem, I have a theory about Hollywood right now. The problem is you are cancelled if you don't agree with their politics, right? You are cancelled and you don't work in Hollywood unless you are a wokey way. It's things like, Zachary Levi, who, voted for Trump. And I'm not getting into the politics. But he was immediately ostracized from Hollywood because of it. And the problem is, when you have everybody that agrees with you, no wonder writing's bad, because there's no different points of view. And you can almost imagine that casting room. Oh, that's great. That's inspired. There's no one going, hang on a second. It'll be all the people on the internet that they can ignore and go, oh, I don't look at the internet. I don't look at the comments. They're racist. It's toxic. Oh, I don't look at that. Right?
I don't look at fan feedback, and I don't look at the books either.
It's exactly what happened in that room. Everybody was going, oh, it's so good. Oh, it's brilliant casting. It's magical. Oh, he's so good. Right? That's what it is. Right? And everybody's gone, that's great. No one's gone, have you thought this one through? So, yeah. But anyway, it annoys me. But I think I have to admit that Nick Frost is great. So, yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well, oh, hang on a second. We're talking about casting. Love this one.
Put a ticket in and make a name.
Jennifer Sulkey, who led Amazon MGM Studios since 2018, is stepping down from her role to establish a new production entity with the first look deals spanning both film and television projects with Amazon MGM. During her tenure, Sulkey was instrumental in expanding Amazon's entertainment portfolio, overseeing such notable projects as Lord of Rings, Rings of Power, Fallout, Reacher. She also played a pivotal role in integrating MGM Studios into Amazon following its $8.5 billion acquisition in 2022, bringing franchises like James Bond under Amazon's umbrella. In light of Sulkey's departure, Amazon has decided not to appoint a direct successor. Instead, the company will be restructuring leadership. Courtney Valentini, head of film, and Vernon Sanders, head of television, will now report directly to Mike Hopkins, head of Prime Video and Amazon MGM Studios. This movement aligns with Amazon's broader strategy of streamlining report lines to accelerating decision-making within its own entertainment division. Sulkey's decision to step down comes amid questions about MGM's future and Amazon's increasing focus on live sports programming. Despite these challenges, Sulkey has expressed confidence in the studio's trajectory, stating, I've always been in search of that moment where I was positive that our work we had to set up Amazon MGM Studios, even for success in the long term. I realised this moment is now. Fuck is that?
So let me translate this to you.
She looks like Anita Dobson in one of these pictures.
Let me translate this for you. She was shit and they got rid of her, right? And here's the funny thing. Right? An Apple TV series launched this week. I think it's called Studio or something. I haven't watched it. Mm-hmm. But the first episode, the head of the studio gets fired. I can't remember his name. Takes over the role, right? Guess what? The person that gets fired is offered as a conciliatory role.
Oh, producer
producer role, almost absolutely identical to this. She was fired, right? Barbara Broccoli, when she called Amazon stupid, was apparently referring mainly to her. And it would go, Reacher season 3 has become one of Amazon's most successful TV shows all the time. And guess what? It cost, and I mean this, a 15th of what they paid for Lord of the Rings. A 15th, Gareth. And it's one of the most popular things, and I think if the rumours are true, it's watched by 5 times more people than Rings of Power when it first aired. That's before the 37% drop off. There's also rumours going around that Bezos wanted her gone because Bezos, again, living in a bit of an echo chamber, when he had put that tweet out about who should play the next James Bond, and everybody went, James Bond's dead. You're going to fuck it. Apparently, he woke up a little bit about this. So
Jeff Bezos doesn't live in an echo chamber. He lives on a yacht, a really expensive yacht. It was so expensive they had to destroy a bridge. They had to destroy a bridge in Holland to get it out of the harbour.
But it is funny. I mean, she is gone because she was shit. She spent money on a lot of shows that were never that popular, and the shows that, I mean, yes, she oversaw Reacher. Rumor is she didn't have a lot to do with it. Fallout was a lot more expensive than Reacher, but Fallout got the numbers. Reacher season 3 has done fantastically well, but sorry.
And say Fallout was done by Jonathan Nolan, so most of the work was done by him and his missus.
But this is, I mean, apparently this was, the rumor is again this was Bezos, and it was partly to do with James Bond. And there is now a lot of rethinking about James Bond, and we have a news story about that, so we'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. But this is, well, it's
let me when I'll read the story and I'll add my twist into it, and you'll go, oh yeah, no, I see.
Well, I don't know, because Bezos apparently part of this was
listens to this
the
podcast
to Bond. Yeah, but like, I mean, he's in it, right. I'll tell you what, right, and I mean this respectfully. I'm not taking the piss here, right? You know what the rest of the world is thinking when, people like Chuck and Laurie comment, because in the nicest possible way, that's like the normies route. And I mean that's not us being uber geeks. That's like people that watch this stuff enjoy it, but probably don't geek out or nerd out as much as us. And I mean that respectfully. And when Chuck said, "Oh fuck, James Bond is screwed," right? That you can gauge the reaction of the masses by that. Right, and I think Bezos got a bit of a rude awakening when he put out who should play the next Bond. Apart from the fact that most people did say Henry Cavill, which I do think is a good idea, or Tom Hardy. But I don't know, she's gone, and that's a good thing, because Amazon have put out some absolute stinkers. And hopefully Rings of Power will either get reversed cancelled, because they still haven't started. It's in production, but only in the writing phase. And they wake up, but they probably will have to do another season out of that. But I bet you it will be the last.
Yeah,
bet you it will be the last. But yeah, she's gone. Good. There is hope left, and as I echo what Biffa says. Yeah, now. Well, Kennedy is gone. She's gone. Trust me, she's gone. Okay. It's all bluff.
Let's move on to our next one, because I want to talk about this next one.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
Amazon MGM Studios has officially announced the producers Amy Pascal and David Heyman will helm the next James Bond film. Pascal, renowned for her work in the Spider-Man franchise, Venom, Madam Web, Kraven the Hunter, and more, known for his producing on all 8 Harry Potter films, and for that, this appointment follows Amazon's acquisition of MGM Studios and subsequent transition of creative control from longtime Bond producer Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson, who've also been pivotal in steering the franchise's success over the past 6 decades. Courtney Valente, head of films at Amazon MGM Studios, expressed confidence in the new producers, stating, "We are honoured to be working with them on James Bond's next chapter and excited to deliver to global audiences storytelling that holds up to impeccable legacy of this beloved character." Pascal and Heyman also conveyed their enthusiasm. "We are humbled to follow the footsteps of Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson, who also made some extraordinary films, and honoured to and excited to keep up the spirit of Bond, keep Bond very much alive as he embarks on his next adventure." As of now, the details regarding the film's plot, casting, release date remain undisclosed. The search for the next actor to portray James Bond continues, following Daniel Craig's departure in No Time to Die in 2021. This development marks a significant shift in James Bond franchise, with Amazon MGM Studios aiming to rejuvenate the series under new leadership. Morbius, Keith! Fucking Morbius!
Yes, but what was the other films that you read at the beginning?
Kraven the Hunter!
No, the ones that were
Madam Web!
Yeah, and then carry on.
Ghostbusters 2016!
Okay, yeah, that one's egregious.
Oh,
yeah, but that's her. But she also did Venom, which we've agreed that we like the Venom movies. Are they the most fantastic thing in the world? No, but they are good.
Nice and disposable films.
I
So,
don't.
But
I mean, okay, Madam Web wasn't great. Morbius was not great. Neither was Craven the Hunter, but they weren't particularly over woke or anything like that. Which, you know, and sorry, well, they were shit, but
they were shit.
Yeah, but I'm not. I mean, she's producing. She's producing. I mean, if she knows what, I mean, you've got David Heyman who has used people that are pretty good. I don't think this is necessarily bad news. Yes, she's got some stinkers in her past, but she's a producer. Look, it probably will be bad, but there is, again, I like to be positive. I like to think, well, okay, the person that I was really worried about was that silly cow that was heading up the studio, and they've got rid of her. Right. So let's see what they do next. I mean, okay, yes, when they sacked that silly cow at Marvel, it was like, no. We all thought, you know, some people thought Marvel was saved, and both of us went, no.
It goes deeper than that.
Yes. And, you know, it's not, despite what a lot of people say, you know, Star Wars will be saved if Kathleen Kennedy goes, no. You've got to get rid of all those other fucking idiots in charge at Lucasfilm and Bob Iger. Right, then Star Wars might have a hope, but probably not. But here, they're competent film producers. They are, right? You know, there's no two ways about that. So let's see. Let's see if they're listening. Let's see if they produce a good Bond film. You'll know by the casting, to a certain extent, I think. And you'll know who they bring in to direct. And if they do, if they're wise, and they watch this podcast, we know what Nolan's next film is.
It's Nolan or Danny Boyle, one of the two.
Yep.
They're the only two I think I would trust. I'm trying to think of anyone else in Hollywood. If Denzel Washington says he's playing the bad guy, maybe.
Danny Boyle left Bond mainly because of Craig, right? Trying to steer it and wanting to die at the end. And the rumor is that Danny Boyle was like, it agrees with me, Bond should never die on screen. And that was one of the reasons that he left, and that Daniel Craig was just being a prima donna, which we know he is, right? That's why he's not been in any big Hollywood films since, and he's doing fucking Netflix movies with that idiot that screwed up Star Wars. Yeah, and yeah. Anyway.
Okay, all right, Biffa, you got a point. I'll get to that in a bit. I'm not sure about. We have to see. I've got a feeling it's going to wind up being some unknown director that we've never heard of.
Potential.
That's what my gut says. I want Nolan.
I do as well.
I really want Nolan because he can do it. But at the same time too, we're going to get some unknown.
But here's the thing, right? You know, Bezos likes owning yachts. He likes money. He's not that stupid. You put Nolan in charge of a Bond movie, that's $800 $1 billion in the cinema straight away. Everybody are going to see that. You know, you announce Chris Nolan directing the next James Bond. You're going to have to wait a couple of years until he films his one. Everybody will wait for that. Everybody. And we know that Nolan wants to do one. Out of all the things that we discuss on this show, you know, the hopeful, wanting things to happen, that one actually does have some potential to happen. Whether it does or not is another matter, but it has potential. And if I was Bezos, I would go, you know, go and give him 50 freaking million to direct the next Bond film. We'll make that back, which they will. So, you know, and here's the thing, right? Bond, you know what's going to be. It's like, you know, Bond's watch, buy it on Amazon.
Oh, no. What you'll have is the X-ray feature, but you're going to press up and it'll show you everything in there, and you're going to select what you want and buy from it. Apart from they don't do Omega watches on Amazon or Aston Martins.
Not yet. Not yet. Right, we've still got more stories to get through, dude.
No,
so
we've still got
let's do it.
What have we got? I will have. Oh.
Well.
Hulu is developing a sequel to the series Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Sarah Michelle Gellar to reprise her iconic role as Buffy Summers in a recurring capacity. The new series will introduce a new Slayer as a central character, while Gellar will also serve as executive producer alongside its original producer, Gail Bergman, and director, Chloe Zhao. The pilot episode is slated to be directed by Oscar winner Chloe Zhao, with Nora and Lily Zuckerman, known for their work on Poker Face, penning the script. Notably, series creator Joss Whedon will not be involved in the project. This development follows years. Yeah, Joss doesn't fucking mad, does he? He's ginger, for fuck's sake. This development has followed years of speculation and previous attempts to revive the beloved series in 2018. A reboot was announced but put on indefinite hold. Recent statements from Gellar and the other original cast members have reignited interest, culminated in this upcoming sequel. Fans can anticipate a fresh narrative that honours the legacy of the original show whilst introducing new characters into the Buffyverse. Fucking Buffyverse. Buffyverse. Sounds like somewhere where the Care Bears live. The Buffyverse. The fucking Buffetverse.
Well, they did create. They did have like a few series, didn't they, in it? But
Angel.
Didn't they?
Wasn't
there a short-lived Faith TV series as well?
No, you're thinking of the song by George Michael. Gotta have faith. That's what you're thinking.
I have to admit, when I read this, I alarm bells did start ringing. Although, it's like basically she's going to be the Giles character, isn't she?
I hope so.
Yeah.
But a bit more hands-on, if that makes any sense.
Well,
and it will be a case
role.
of she'll. And what it will be a case of. I remember that it's like kind of, what is it? It's I don't know, a Shinto demon or something. Because I remember the time I thought it was Shinto demon. Because what happened? Yeah, that's a good point. I can't remember exactly. Giles told me something and we beat it in the end. And I have to go and look it up in the library somewhere. Something along those lines.
The fact is that I don't know. Honestly, right now, I don't know how to feel about this. If I'm being absolutely honest, because of the era that we're currently living in, I don't know how to feel about this. I used to watch the show on BBC Two. I'm not going to lie that half the freaking girls in there were right around the time that I was becoming, let's just say, aware of girls. Buffy was like this thing that I watched, and not just for that reason, but Buffy was good. Angel was better in some ways, but I don't know. I don't know about this. It says recurring role, so it might mean that she's not in every single episode. So it's probably not going to be focusing on her. It's going to be focusing on a new Scooby Gang. But look, I hope that she's not the only one returning. I hope they're bringing other cast members back. Willow. I hope Giles turns up somewhere.
Did he?
So,
I don't know if any of these got killed whilst we did this. So
no,
yeah.
Giles was alive at the end of it. I think Giles was alive. I can't remember the final episode. Yeah, I know. Anyway, all right. Well, there's Buffy news. Big thing. It's definitely happening. It's definitely coming. Time will tell as to what it is.
Yeah, will it be any good? Then again, I didn't like the first one, so I'm probably the worst person to judge. But I'll do the 4-episode rule like I do with everything.
You just as my wife says. That's her way of not losing an argument.
Okay, let's move on to our next one.
Yeah. Sorry.
You get royalties every time that's played. Nintendo has officially announced a live-action adaptation of The Legend of Zelda. It's scheduled for global theatrical release on March 26, 2027. Key details are director Wes Ball, known for his directing on Maze Runner and The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Producer Shigeru Miyamoto, co-creator of The Legend of Zelda, and arid dude does the Spider-Man shite. Seasoned Hollywood producer recognised for his work on various Marvel adaptations. The production partnership is between Nintendo and Sony, and Nintendo are financing 50%. Scriptwriter is a guy called Derek Connolly. No idea what he's done. Casting, nothing out there at the moment. And yeah, so interesting.
Well, it's rumoured. They said they were going to do it, but we never got a release date. They've been saying for the last few years they're going to do a Zelda TV show, a Zelda movie, and it just nothing's transpired. But right, there you go. We've got a release date, so it's happening.
Yeah, because there was talk of doing something with Netflix a while back.
Yes, there was. Yeah.
So that didn't come to fruition. But saying it, I'm hoping if they do it, they do what they did with Mario, make it CGI. Let's go for fucking CGI. Can't really lose on that.
I think they're probably going to end up doing a live action, but you might be right. I'm the Zelda fanboy here. I think Tears of the Kingdom is quite possibly one of the best games ever made, and it was absolutely robbed.
I'm sorry. Sorry, it always comes down to two games. That's the N64 Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time,
yeah,
and A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. Any other games that do not match up, ever. Full stop. When it comes to Zelda, that's it.
Tears of the Kingdom was incredible. Breath of the Wild was my previous favorite game, but Tears took it and just did incredible things, and it was robbed of Game of the Year. But I don't know if I want to see a TV or series or a movie made from it. I like the game story, and Tears, whilst Zelda in the game is not a girl boss, she is kind of equally as heroic, earned heroism in Tears, but that can be corrupted by Hollywood very, very quickly.
Yeah,
and that's what causes me concern. But I love the two modern Switch games. I think they're freaking fantastic. But I'm kind of like, okay. I think a TV series might have been better. And had you, but the thing is, I say give it to the people that did One Piece. The trouble is, those One Piece people also made that other thing that was utterly shite. So, although you could give it to the cast behind Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was also quite a good TV show. My wife loves it. I thought Avatar was quite good actually on Netflix. I think it would work.
But you're into benders. You are into benders. That's all I can say. Air benders, water benders, gender benders. Sorry.
Next.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the comments. I don't know how many comments
We've done 6 stories.
We've done 6 stories. Try to keep it really brief and a brisk pace. Yeah. So, Biffa gets the gold star. Rachel Ziegler saves the cinema. My theatre was packed. I don't believe you.
I think he's been slightly fussy.
I don't believe you.
Did you see? Right. I've got to read this because we're talking about Rachel Ziegler. Because Gareth, you may have not heard about this. Right. So I've got to read this. So, the son of one of the producers for Snow White put this out the other day in response to people saying that Rachel Zegler is being made to be a scapegoat. Now, this is it. You really want to do this? Yeah, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country and reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie for which she signed a multi-million dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all of her colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be condoned or encouraged. Boom! I couldn't fucking sum that up better if I fucking tried. That was just...
I can.
What?
Okay, it's easy. She's a stupid bimbo. Right, next. So, Chuck gets the Silver Star. Was editing foodie stuff. Not sci-fi today, but retro today. Watched the movie Tavern. OG Grease. Oh, the movie Tavern. The original Grease. I really like going to the cinema and watching films that I would have never watched at the cinema. Like I've watched John Carpenter's Thing at the cinema, and Alien and Aliens at the cinema, and Blade Runner at the cinema, and it's just so much. It sounds awful. I want the cinema just to show old films to make me happy.
I agree with you.
Laurie's cooking. I better tell you the boys are on. Okay, cool. So she's cooking shepherd pie. Do you know the difference between shepherd's pie and cottage pie? Go on, Keith.
One uses lamb, one uses beef.
But which one?
Shepherd's pie uses lamb.
Oh, hang on. Why am I clapping? I've got a button for this. There. Congratulations.
Thank you, friends. Thank you, friends.
Okay. I can put the Sweeney thing on. Hang on a second. Laurie, say hi, Laurie. Hi, Laurie. Is it lamb? That's the question. I love cooking. Oh, shepherd's pie. We need to know. Is it lamb? That's the question. I think Chuck's had to start out, and Laurie's cooking, actually doing something while this is running in the background. Yeah. So yeah. So had to travel different spelling. Oh, okay. Ha! Oh, sorry. And then my wife, late. Sorry, not my wife. Chuck saying hi to my wife. Not sure what I just typed there. Lol. Right, okay. Reception's completely gone. Okay. Beef this time. It's cottage pie. Okay. Sprinkle some cheese on the mashed potato. Or you could put it in with the mashed potato and then sprinkle it on top. Laurie says she's glad that you and Lem are safe from... I'll be honest with you, Keith, that given the earthquake, I think you've probably done more devastating farts in your house.
What do you know, right? I mean, these are my bastard fucking friends, right? One friend just messaged me, did you fall out of bed this morning? Right? And then I put on, like, my team of employees that, you know, respect me as a leader, said, oh, I just thought you were on the toilet. Yep. That's the shit I get. But thank you, Laurie. I appreciate it. We were relatively unaffected by it. I mean, put it this way, the rocket didn't fall off the desk. So the light bulbs swayed a little bit, and there was a few sort of jingly-jangly glasses. And the place that you could see it the most was in the pond. The pond was doing this, which was, because of the build-up, it kind of... Well, you know the science of this. It made the pond slosh more than it was, but it was barely felt here. My nephews have a crack in their bedroom wall, quite a significant one, and the building collapse in Bangkok is a concern because we had a biblical storm here today. So I think if there are still people trapped in there, we had so much water that the ground was flooded for a while today. So yeah. But thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Meryl Streep's a great actress. Yeah. Silky's gone. Fans, Lord of the Rings fans rejoice. Now, fire the Rings of Power showrunners. Oh my god. I don't get... They've got no actual experience. I have no idea how they got the job. Apart from their J.J. Abrams ilk.
That's how they got the job.
Good.
Sulky was...
Yeah, but he's... Yeah. Now do Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilms. Yes, please. Will someone give me $1 billion to do what I want? I think I'd struggle with $1 billion. I'll be honest with you. I really would. It's like that film, Brewster's Millions, where he has to spend all the money. It's a great film.
I love that film.
It's Morbin time. That's what you got to remember when the next James Bond comes out. Chuck says he's going to leave this. Denzel played the bad guy and was... okay. He usually reads his scripts. David Fincher. That might work. Not too sure. Beef. Okay. It's cottage pie then. Enjoy. And then lamb will be shepherd's pie. But sprinkle some cheese on it. Let it melt.
Yeah, with cottage pie.
Love it.
A little bit of cheese on top. Pretty nice. But I'm sure it will be lovely. And it's making me feel a bit hungry now, and I haven't eaten.
Yeah, I haven't had shepherd's pie in ages. I'll be honest with you.
It's making me feel hungry now, so it's certainly wetting the lips a bit.
Yes.
Send us a picture. But we like I like a good shepherd's or cottage pie. I do as well.
All right, so we're into the review part.
What do you want to do first?
So we've got Severance, Reacher, both finished. Daredevil. And then we've got Starship Troopers to finish it off on. Shall we do Daredevil?
Yeah. So, Gareth and I, had one of our little Barneys on the last episode because I thought Gareth was wrong. Because he was. No. But I have to admit, and don't fucking revel in this. Don't revel in this. You might have had more of a point. You fucker. You might have had more of a point. If the Earth starts sort of spinning quicker, it's because his ego's getting more heavy. I watched it through the lens that you inadvertently gave me, and it annoyed me because I was sitting there going, in that 5th episode, it was like halfway through, my wife comes in, I was like, fuck, he's right. Then was like, what? I was like, don't
Hang
worry.
on, is that the bank one?
Yeah, it was shit.
I liked the bank one. That was the only one I've watched where it felt Daredevil-esque. Do you know what it felt like? It felt like that should have been the show. They should have put that episode out before they released the TV series to whet everyone's appetite. That's an appetizer. That's it, though.
I didn't find that. I liked the end of the 6th episode where he's actually in the suit and fighting. I thought the thing I've come to is I kind of like the fight scenes in this. And I do like him as Matt Murdock. And despite what people are saying, seeing him do more lawyering, even if it's not technically right, it is better. But the thing is, you're right. The end of the episode was good in the fact that Kingpin lost it, and Kingpin is now the rising threat. But the other guy that's chopping up bodies to or using blood to make art, and I can't remember his name, but I know he's from the comics.
Muse.
Muse, that was it. He wasn't as scary as he should be. He wasn't as intimidating as he should be. Vincent losing his rag and beating the shit out of the guy that slept with his wife was far more intimidating. But there was no clear direction. The problem is with this, and you are right in this. But I do maintain that I think season 2 will probably be better. Is that this is a mix of 2 shows, and what they probably should have done is gone right back to the drawing board and rewrote the whole lot. But the fact that Jonathan what's-his-face is in it, and they're doing that Punisher one-shot in a couple of for Christmas, I think. The fact that he refused to be in it because he said Marvel was shit, then he is in it because he he was a Punisher fan. That gives me that hope that season 2 might be better. It's not entirely shit. I understand why you're annoyed with it. I get it. I do now.
Right,
Far
Keith.
more.
It's simple. Where's it going? What's it doing?
Exactly. Well,
Yeah, Paradise. Yeah, it was who murdered the president? Why are they in this bunker? Who stole the Wii? Yeah, those questions are all answered.
where it's going is that the Kingpin is going to become more and more sort of, stepping down on vigilantes and other other sort of masked heroes. And by season 2, we're going to get the what was the name of those cops in Spider-Man 1 game? Something similar to those. You remember?
Sorry.
You remember the slightly sort of fascist not coppers, the organization that you had in Spider-Man 1. You remember the game? Yeah, I think we're going to get something similar to that. Because I've seen pictures of like these Punisher cops all in like, riot gear and going after things. I think season 2 might have more of a direction. I think the problem is, where is it going? Is because this is an absolute jumble of 2 seasons, and that's why. I think that's a lot to do with it. But you're right that it is boring in places. But I did like the fight at the end. I thought the fight again, and again, what's his face is the Kingpin, just fucking phenomenal. And when he's beating the shit out of that guy, it was intimidating. It was what it was meant to be.
Annoying. Do you know what's really annoying is that I was hoping it would have done. Daredevil has a clear right to kill Muse. Yeah, given everything that he's done and all the people he's murdered, 60 people plus. Yeah. He can kill him and get away with it, and no one's going to really blink because Muse is an arsehole, yeah?
Yeah.
And Kingpin doesn't really have a right to murder so-and-so, so you get these kind of parallel bits between the two of them, right? So get that there, and it would have been good that you saw Muse being fought by both being fought by Daredevil and Kingpin fighting Adam, is it? And you had the parallel fight going on, and he gets to the end. And it looks like Daredevil's going to kill Muse, but he doesn't. It doesn't look like Kingpin's going to kill Adam, but he does. And then you've got that kind of clear we know this is how he works, and this is how he works. But they bottled it. They really did.
Yeah.
It was annoying.
But again, I think we're definitely heading in the direction of Kingpin sort of cracking down. And the fact that it's got a season 2, I think season 2 will be much more. It will have a direction. It will be more directional. It will be less rudderless, if that makes a sense. But the fact that you said that, and I started watching it, it was like that entire episode in the bank. In one respect, as a bottle episode, a standalone, it was probably quite good. But in the terms of the story, nothing happened.
Yeah, as I said, if you put that on as a pre-thing to the TV show, that would have worked.
Yeah.
As a warm-up into the TV show.
The only thing it was a link back to Miss Marvel by putting Kamala Khan's father in there. I did actually quite like his character. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
And that's when I had my realization. It was just like, oh, fuck, he's right. And I did message you. In all fairness, I did message you.
Yeah, and I messaged you back. What did I message you?
Something about this is meant to be a superhero show?
No. It was... I think I messaged you... What was it? I'm going to have to find this now. So I said... Oh, Christ almighty. Bloody hell. I watched it rooting for the mayor to redevelop the docks with little restriction from bureaucracy as possible. Oh, sorry. Superhero TV show. Because it was more focused on what the fuck he was doing with the docks.
Yes.
And, yeah. And I was really, really hoping that we would have had some of those people strung up at the end on like a meat hook. Because you can have all the money in the world. Do you think you have power now?
But I mean, just seeing some of the stuff coming out about season 2, I think it's going to be a much more coherent show. So I'm going to continue with it, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Is that conciliatory enough? Right. Severance.
Severance.
It's lost.
So
Lost. It's lost.
it's not lost.
It's lost.
It's not lost. It's not lost. It's not lost. It really isn't lost. It's annoying as all hell, but it's not lost.
They
Okay.
don't know what they're doing with it.
I think they do
genuinely
know. I think they do know what they're doing with
Can
it, but I
you
don't
tell
think they're
me
doing we
over
like.
10 episodes of TV what actually fucking happened compared to season 1? Right? What happened?
Oh, okay. Mark started to reintegrate his character with his
Could have done
outie.
that in 2
We found out that the numbers that he'd been doing, the macro data for his wife, so they can create severance, severed people. That also means that the other people are also working on other severed individuals. So she's not alone. There are other people that's happening to it. We found out that they, for some fucking reason, Lumen, I'm going to call him Goomin, Lumen, like sacrificing goats when they get one of these things.
Which is why I'm saying it's lost. I genuinely don't think they know where they're going with this, and I don't know. I've fallen out of love with it. I thought the final was just an hour and a half. The one thing I liked was the camera where he was talking to himself. I liked that. But if I look at this entire season, it was nowhere near as gripping as the first series. It was so much crap. And then you get the whole goat thing at the end, and it's like... Is this the black smoke thing? Is this the fucking, hatch? Because it does feel a bit rudderless. It does, where is this going, Gareth? I mean, an entire season, and we haven't really ended up... we're not that much the wiser. Okay, they're filling in the dots to create a thing, and he saved his wife, who we didn't even know was lost anyway, because they kind of created that for the series 2, because I think she couldn't be in all of it, so they had to. And he saves his wife, but instead of saving his wife, he goes off with Hallie. I knew that was going to happen the minute he kind of had an argument with himself. But it was the whole goat thing, and I'm just like, if you're going down the satanic route, go down the fucking satanic route. But it doesn't. I don't see why everybody's banging on about this, because I thought the first season was considerably better.
It gave you some answers. It did it really poorly. It really did. It did it poorly. The whole thing with when he was talking about doing the reintegration in the lodge thing that they had, where they're having a conversation between themselves. I felt what he should have turned around. He said, he goes, no, what's going to happen is the two of us are going to be merged together. So technically, we both die, and someone new comes forward from the both of us. That's what he should have said. He said we both die, because some of your feelings might be stronger than mine, this, that, and the other. And if you want to try and rescue Helly, then we have to figure out how to rescue Helly as well. But we've got to do my wife first, because she's the one that's in immediate danger. If you can come up with a plan to rescue Helly, for fuck's sake, tell me, and we'll do it. That's what he should have done. He should have turned around and negotiated with him like he was a separate person.
It was...
But it's this whole thing with they are trying to separate all your personalities out so you can have a life where you never have to experience any kind of pain or trauma, because you can have a severed personality which will go through that pain and go through that trauma and be completely separate from it. So, yeah.
Oh, yes. Did you really work at that Bell Labs place? Because I saw some YouTube videos on Bell Labs and found it really interesting, actually. And what it is now is kind of cool. Wow. Sorry, I'm just looking at Biffa's comment. There seems to be all this hype about it, and it feels like the same kind of hype that Lost had. Like, my sister's really into it. It's like she was into Lost and things like that. And again, my sister is also how I kind of, gauge normies. But I'm not seeing it. I don't know. I started this, like, the first couple of episodes, I was kind of excited for it. Like I'm just not seeing it. It was boring, Gareth. It was boring. And like Milchek, what the fuck? You had this whole story with Milchek, and it just didn't go anywhere at the end.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
And then you got the whole story with the weird sort of Chinese girl that was just not Chinese, well, Asian girl who was dispatched with no ceremony or pomp and circumstance. So why was she there in the first place? And then they bring in this goat thing at the end, and it's like, this feels a bit like Lost. This feels like they're just fucking throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I kind of lost. I was a bit meh at the end of it. Yeah, okay, it's got a season 3. We're probably going to have to wait 3 more fucking years for that shit. For some
I'll be honest
bloody
with
reason.
you. I watched it and got to the end, and I thought that was the end. He saved his wife. He ran off with What's-a-mush, and then he probably got killed. And then that's what I thought, because it went red. Because that would have been fine by me, I'll be honest with you. Because it was... I think that there is a Kia AI. And I think Milchek might have been talking to another AI when he was chatting to the animatronic, which could reply back to him. Not a very good one, but yeah, it's... Yeah, it hasn't set out its agenda. It's not like Paradise. I get where you're coming from in this. I really do. Because it's bad storytelling. Interesting story, bad storytelling. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it was 10 episodes, and I actually went, well, what? A lot of what we've seen and done could have happened in the first 3-4 episodes, right? If you wanted to make it, its pace was so slow. I've seen stunned slugs run quicker, and you just get these scenes. Okay, I liked the scene between the two marks between each other with the camera. I thought that was great, but we took 9 episodes to get there. And 9 episodes of not really a lot, like these overly drawn out scenes. This, so much time setting up the atmosphere that you kind of become bored of the atmosphere. Like all these like longer lasting shots, the drone shots that last 2 seconds too much, and things like that, just to draw out the length. It's filler. It's filler. In 8 episodes of Paradise, so much shit happened. Right?
Yes.
And it left you with questions and wanting more. Severance didn't really do that. I was like, okay, there's going to be season 3. Yay. And I don't get what people are seeing in it. And I don't get the excitement behind it. Like, people go, this is the best thing in years. No, it's fucking not. Go and watch Paradise. That's one of the best things in years, because that's written competently. Shit happens. Right? People react the way they should react. People are being humans. The guy who did... Because he wrote This Is Us before that. He understands humans. And people are different. And human behaviour and things like... That's one of the reasons I love Paradise. Is because whilst... What's-her-face? Sinatra is a bad guy. Some of it you can understand. And whilst you don't agree with her choices, you get some of it. And Severance, it was just like, I was bored. Like, I mean, it's the best way to say it. Sorry, people. I just, if you're watching this and you're a Severance fan, I humbly apologise. I don't get it. I got it in the first series, and thank God, because you and Duncan recommended it to me, and I loved it. I thought it was really good because a lot of shit happened. It went somewhere. Something happened. It went at a pace. This has just been filler. And you heard rumours about there being problems on set. Well, you can see it. It took them 3 years to produce this. Sorry. Now, did you want to say anything, or should we talk about... Because there, I'm going to be really positive.
It's ironic because... There's a political YouTuber I watch who was talking about Severance, and he's pretty much got exactly the same opinion as you.
I haven't watched it.
Tim Paul.
I haven't watched him. I know who he is, but this was
Mr. Beanie.
Yes. But I came to this opinion of my own free will. I've been saying
I know.
Weeks.
I'm just saying. I know. It's when I heard his opinion on it, went, oh my God, him and Keith need to get together and have a chat, because they're going to say, I think it was done poorly. I know what they're trying to do, and I think it's done poorly. Yeah, I think what it is they've turned around and they've gone, it should be the what do you call it? The paradise rule. Yeah. Here's a mystery. Here's the answer to the mystery. Now is a new question because you've answered that. You've answered this one's been answered. You've got a new question, maybe 2 questions. Yeah, and then it just keeps going through that kind of that progression from one part to another. But
Agreed.
people forget that storyline wise. Starship Troopers.
No, Reacher.
Oh, Reacher. Sorry. I looked at my list and so yeah, Starship Troopers.
It's just trying to confuse me. Reacher, I loved it. Honestly, when Paulie kind of fell down the toilet or whatever they called it, I thought, right, he's dead, right? And then you saw Reacher walking down the road completely fucked up, right? And apparently, in that fight, he really did get knocked out, right? And then Paulie kind of comes behind him. You're like, oh shit, man. This guy just won't fucking die.
He did Bugs Bunny him.
He did a little bit.
With the fucking jamming the gun up. So, we were both right that Dad got it and redeemed himself at the same time too.
Yeah, I did like that.
With the toy gun.
I thought that was good. The only one that I suppose I was left a little unsatisfied by was what's his face's death. The you know. It was just like a.
They had to cut away, practically.
I would have liked, I don't know, something a bit more violent. Although the look of, the fact is he was quite scared for his life, and he still didn't remember Reacher until Reacher said that name, and then you see that oh shit look in his eyes. I'm dead. That was kind of satisfying. I love the fact that she gave Reacher his speech, the cop at the end. I really did kind of like her character. She wasn't so... The thing, Reacher does women quite well. And Neagley was cool, as Neagley always is.
Oh, the bit with the grenade. I love that.
Yeah.
It was like, kind of, she comes out with a grenade. If it was a real grenade or not, I don't care. The way she just comes out and she goes, it's like rock, paper, scissors, yeah? Grenade trumps all 3. I'll get all of us.
But again, I like how Reacher does women, because it doesn't do overpowered women, but it does women that it writes women well. I think, and I really like Neagley, and I really liked the cop. I'm glad that her sort of father figure didn't die, because I really thought he was going to die, and I was like, please don't die, please don't die. I really like this guy, please don't die, because he's kind of looking out for the boy as well, and. It's like there were several points in that fight with like generic Asian henchmen that I thought he was going to get it, and he didn't. So I was kind of glad. I really enjoyed Reacher season 3. It deserves the accolades that it's had. It deserves the fact that it's one of Amazon's most watched shows, because it's bloody good TV. It's unashamedly masculine. But it has something. It does women well. It doesn't make women, damsels in distress. It does quite well. And I think Neagley again is a really good character. And I like how it ends. I like the fact that he gets the bike. I thought that was pretty good. He's like, I'm going to have that bike.
Yeah, that was good. It's weird because it sounds odd. If that show would have been on 15 years ago, it would have got just lost in the mix. It really would have.
Well, I don't know.
But because we're missing TV. 15 years ago, TV was fucking superior to what we got now.
I agree with you there, but Reacher is quite well known and quite popular, and the films didn't do so well because the guy was. No offense to Tom Cruise, he's not built like Reacher. And I think the fact that Lee Child produces this show and has made the guy like Reacher, but it's a relatively cheap TV show to make, and it's had something like 53 million views, or 53 million households have watched that. By the way, Acolyte 7 at max, and half of those were YouTubers, and you're still trying to tell us that the Acolyte season 1 was successful. Can I just point out that The Mandalorian was over 30? Anyway, just because I read an article this week that people are still trying to fucking ship that show. I really enjoyed Reacher, but I enjoyed season 1 and 2. I can understand why people criticise season 2. I thought this was a return. I liked season 2, but I thought this was a return. This was quite good, being a slightly smaller cast in terms of, you know, but still having. I like the fact that Niggly turns up and saves his ass, because he does need a bit of saving now and again, and Niggly is a good friend. I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was satisfying. The bit where he was trying to save all the FBI things, agents and whatnot, in the scrapyard.
Yeah.
That was good. And then the fact that he was trying to, the dad was like, kind of, no, I want to go and save his son. So don't go and save your son. The moment they see you, he's fucked. So matey went off to try and save him, which I appreciate, which is good. Yeah, it felt like it came from a book. It felt like someone had bothered writing it. If that sounds an awful thing to say, because TV these days doesn't feel like people have actually bothered to write it, and they've just made it up on the fly. But yeah,
it did come from the book, and the fact is that the producer of it is the same guy that I think 15 years ago we got Breaking Bad, GOT, and Sherlock. Yeah, GOT seasons 1 through to 5, 6, potentially. The rest was shockingly bad, and you can add Doctor Who to that, although by that point Doctor Who was beginning, although there were some bloody fine episodes in that. Sons of Anarchy, yes, I'll give you that, Biffa. I'll give you Mad Men as well, but I think Reacher would have shown up, and there's talk of Sherlock coming back, and that is getting louder. That is.
Will it be any good? Because they bollocksed it up with the
season 4 wasn't very good. So,
if they really wanted to bring Moriarty back, it could have been. Dave could have done it really simply, really simply. Yeah, Moriarty was the son of the real Moriarty, because the real Moriarty is a professor at college. He does bloody astrology. Yeah. That's it, because that would have put him back in line with what was in the book. Yeah? That's all they had to do. He took over the family business. He fucked it up. He got obsessed with you for some reason. Now I'm obsessed with you because my son was obsessed with you, and I want to figure out why. That's it. You've got a setup there. But no, we can't do that, because we have to now replace Moriarty, even though they made him canonically gay, which wasn't a bit of an issue, because they kind of did that in the end of last episode of season 1. And then replaced him with a woman.
Sherlock's sister.
Yeah. Which makes it worse. So.
We shall see. No, I enjoyed Reacher. So let's get on to Starship Troopers.
Would you like to know more?
Go on.
No, I'm just saying, because that's what they say in Starship Troopers. Would you like to know more?
Yeah.
It's like kind of figures with 300,000 dead in 1 hour at Kandethu. Would you like to know more?
It feels like it was influenced by RoboCop in terms of the way it was trying to do satire.
It's the same guy who did RoboCop.
Oh, there you go.
Even the same music person who did it too.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
Well, then there you go. I was right. I know that she's an absolute cow, but Denise Richards was hot in this film.
Yeah, but she was fucking horrible to both Johnny Rico and the other guy.
Yes,
she really was.
I forgot Neil Patrick
because you know
Harris
that
was
they,
in this
know that they weren't fucking shagging. Who was in this?
Neil Patrick Harris, wasn't he? I forgot he was.
Yes,
in this.
he was in this.
Yeah.
Also, Dean Norris was in this, who was Hank in Breaking Bad. But the funny thing about Hank in Breaking Bad is he's the same age as the guy who plays Johnny Rico.
Really?
Yeah. Balding doesn't help.
But I always liked Hank. Oh, justice for Hank.
Yes.
But
it's weird. Okay, they try to he tries to Paul Verhoeven tries to portray it as like this kind of fascist regime, but there are bits that I like in it. I'll give you an example. There's a bit where it goes, a murderer was caught. It goes, caught this morning. It goes, goes sentence, goes executed tonight at 7, like that. So justice is like really fucking swift. And then there's the other bits, like kind of the guy who does the attack on Clan Death. Oh no, I fucked up. I'm being replaced. Literally the moment after he fucks up. God, do you imagine what government would be like that? Oh, I fucked up. Bye. Replaced with someone who can do the fucking job. I'd love that. I really do. And that's supposed to be like horrible authoritarianism. And I'm like, it's not horrible authoritarianism. That's getting shit done.
I didn't actually realise it was the same guy as Robocop. I wasn't paying that. But it definitely has that same satire edge to it. It is actually quite a good movie. I do know what Chuck was saying last week about the brain sucking thing. It still makes me a bit wriggle with and uncomfortable, but it is bugs, and I do have a thing about spiders, and I remember having that same primal fear because I am not. Yeah, I think beetles are kind of. Yeah, my mum always liked beetles and insects, and I think beetles are kind of cool. And I kind of like stinging sense. Spiders freak the living shit out of me. I declared war on mosquitoes because I'm highly allergic to the little buggers. Some of those things do sort of evoke the spider fear in me a bit, and the brain thing, yeah, it's a bit like the praying mantis thing. I can't watch those nature shows with the praying mantis thing because that just freaks me out.
The brain thing made me laugh because if you cut back to the creature and you remove the guy having his brain sucked, it's going like it's sucking it out like a Wendy's milkshake. If you ever had a Wendy's milkshake, that's super fucking thick and the hardest thing to drink from, yeah. And he was drinking it like a Wendy's fucking milkshake, and I was like grinning like an idiot because I thought it was funny.
But I am kind of jealous of you for seeing it in the cinema because I think it would have been really good in the cinema.
Yeah, it's a good film. It really is a good film, and it's some of the bits in it, and it's weird because it's kind of it's like they tried to put the Federation in Star Trek together, but didn't get it quite right. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, but I think that's on purpose. But yes, I know I do know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? It was like kind of the Federation, but they really liked Second Amendment sort of thing. If that was the case.
The thing that strikes me though when I was watching it was like, the cinematographer on it is quite good, and there's that scene where Denise Richards' character is piloting the ship for the first time. That would have been a real cool scene, not because it's Denise Richards, but the wide angle shot of it across the whole of the ship's sort of bridge, that must have looked good on the screen. And the bits where the bugs are like invading the base, again, there's a wide angle shot there that I went, God, that would look good on a cinematic screen. And I looked at it again because since sort of getting into sort of I'm not going to call myself a filmmaker, but I'm going to say that I have a little bit of skill right now, and I appreciate good cinematography more than when this film came out. I was looking at it going, actually, the cinematography in this is quite good. There's shots in there that are quite good. So,
do you know what gets me? Is that some of the CGI for the arachnids is still better than some of the shit that you get in Marvel bits today.
I know. Oh yeah, it held up. It holds up. I mean, I'm going to say though that the co-ed shower scene never going to happen. I mean, they tried to do that in Battlestar Galactica. Never going to happen.
What do you call it? It's funny because the story behind that was to make all the actors feel comfortable. The director got naked along with the DP and the cameraman, so they're all stark bollock naked in that shower, even if they're not doing whatever, just to make everyone feel thingy. And it is kind of a weird way of looking at it, and they talk about quality and whatnot. That's kind of a quality there. No, we all just get the shower together. We use the same toilets. Tough. It's weird because I like it. It works. It's like RoboCop where it has the levels. So you've got the societal level. So if you look at the society and whatnot, and I said how quick justice is and everything, and they're built on the idea that if you want to vote and change the way things are, you've got to be willing to put your fucking life on the line. Yeah, and it's like kind of, dude, you know you've got that one friend who voted some way where you're like, oh Christ, that was a fucking waste of a vote. Yeah. But the idea that you couldn't say that it was a waste of a vote if they'd put their life on the line to get that vote. It has those snippets like with RoboCop where they had the OCP News Network or whatever it was, where they were going through there with the adverts and this, that, and the other, where it was kind of YouTube-esque, where it's like you could click, and yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
That.
I like that expression. Would you like to know more? That feels like a very Apple Microsoft thing. Yeah, it's like you get to the bottom of the article. Would you like to know more? And it's mad. Apparently, people didn't quite get what it was about when it first came out. They didn't realize it was satire. It's funny because when Neil Blomkamp does it, people were going to criticize the Neil Blomkamp version being closer to the book, where this one here was criticized for being nowhere near the book. But yeah, it was. It was really good. I liked it. The fact that all the teenagers were 10 years older than they should have been was the other thing.
Yes, but that was a joke. Partly. It definitely had that RoboCop feel that I never noticed the first time. But I think I watched this when I remember watching it on a video hire. That's how long ago it was. And I think I was too young to make the connection. But watching this time, I was going, this feels like RoboCop. This feels like the sort of same satire, multi-layered dig at society that RoboCop was doing, that a lot of people kind of miss when they watch RoboCop. And I was like, this is the same thing. And that made it interesting. And again, as I said, there was certain cinematic shots in it that I really appreciated. Yes, it still gives me that primeval freaking fear, but that's because I have this thing about insects, so it's always going to do that. Yeah. So it makes me feel uncomfortable at times. But otherwise, it is a bloody good movie. It's kind of a good science fiction movie. You can see what it influenced. There are... Space Above and Beyond was definitely fucking influenced from that.
Oh, no, Space Above and Beyond was before that, believe it or not.
Was it? Oh, it's the other way around then.
Yeah.
But, in terms of like drop ships and things like that, it was kind of like... But then I like that kind of thing. Space Above and Beyond was good. Why do you fucking cancel that?
Oh, they've got the entire series on YouTube. I'll send you a link to it. My favourite one's the Chiggy Richtofen one, where Ty gets the chip thing removed from his ear, and he goes out and just takes it one-on-one and beats it. So it's like you didn't need any special weapons, and pointless you building this fucking thing because we can take it out with just a regular hammerhead or whatever they call them. Here, just a couple of things you might not have noticed, yeah? So one, did you know how Zim got busted down to private?
No, go on.
For tearing up Johnny Rico's paperwork. That's how he got busted down to private. Because he goes, the only way you're going out there is if you bust your ass down to private, yeah? And then they have the conversation, and then he tears it up, and Bossy Smush purposely looks away so he can turn around and goes, I didn't see what the paperwork was, but clearly you've interfered with the paperwork, you get busted down to private. Yeah, that was one thing. Two, the Mormons started the war. And I don't get to say that often, because I love the way the Mormon extremists built their home inside the bug quarantine zone. And I love that. And there's also, if you read the book, there is a third alien group called the Skinnies. They were in the TV show, but I don't know. I need to read the book. It's not that big, so easy weekend read.
Well, it's going to be interesting. If Neil Blomkamp is actually going to do it, it's going to be interesting.
But he'll do it closer to the book, so you're going to get more mech suit battles versus the kids.
I'm down for that. I enjoyed it. What are we doing next week, G-Man?
I'm away in Wales next week, so I won't be able to go on camera. But we'll be about. You've been playing Atomfall, yeah?
How did you know that? Are you stalking me on PlayStation?
Because it popped up. It popped up on my.
I've been playing it because it intrigued me. Partly because, right, one of my fellow IT managers, called me on and said, I've got tomorrow off. And it's like, oh yeah, you doing anything nice? He went, yeah, I'm playing Atomfall. I went, what? It's like, you're a gamer? He's like, yeah. And I'd seen a BBC article on Atomfall. And the fact that it was set in Britain kind of interested me. And then, like, my colleague was like taking the entire fucking day off to play this game.
Don't tell me anything about it.
I'm not gonna
All
tell
I
you
know
anything.
is it's the UK version of Fallout set in an alternate 1962.
It's okay. Don't go into it expecting Fallout, but as said, I'm having a lot of fun in this game. I was having a lot of fun in the game. I ain't going to tell you anything else about it. But it's not really Fallout, but I like it. Do you know, I heard somebody review it, right? And I think this is a really good review. It's like this game was made 15 years ago when there was no one rule. You know how you play a lot like first-person shooters now, and there are certain ways of doing things, and they all toe the line.
Yeah.
They're all the same. This is not quite there with that. I like the... there's no guidance, really. It's like, you've got to find your own way through the game, and there are multiple paths. So I, ended up in the military zone and got my ass kicked. But I'm enjoying it. I have to admit, I am enjoying the game. It's not too difficult.
Well, I plan to play it tonight and stream it on Twitch.
I think you might. I think you enjoy it. You'll probably do everything different to me. What was I going to say? The only thing I will say is, right, despite all the guns that you get, the one I really like the most is the bow and arrow, because I'm the most accurate with the bow and arrow. I fucking headshot the fuckers every time with it. And it's faster fucking loading than the rifle. So if you get the bow and arrow, fucking keep that, because it's worth it.
Okay.
But yeah, I won't really say anything more. But it's quite good. There's lots of like crusty British accents in it. There's a Yorkshire accent. There's fucking some great Welsh accents in it, which make me laugh. It's an interesting game. I'm not saying any more than that.
Yeah, I've just seen lots of thumbnails saying, "Well, this is a surprise," in a positive kind of way.
Yes.
So yeah.
I
Anyway,
agree with
Keith,
Az
don't-
having a lot of fun in it. That's all I'm going to say.
Don't want to know any more because I'm going into it blind. I've seen the trailer, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And on that note, it's time to say goodbye.
In that case, goodbye. Goodbye to everybody in the chat. I know that Steve was in there, so hi, Steve, and bye, Steve.
Yes.
Laurie, Chuck, I hope you enjoy your cottage pie. It really makes me want shepherd's pie or cottage pie right now.
Cottage pie. I want cottage pie.
Oh, fucking hell. You can't get minced lamb here, but you can get minced beef. Or you can get minced lamb here, but it's really expensive. Yeah, Biffa, as always. Yeah, take care, and we will see you next week.
Yes, see you next
will
week.
be in a
Thank you very
field
much.
somewhere. If you hear bang,
I'm not going to be in the field. Bye.